welcome to the School of Brilliance weekly trainings that I like to host every Thursday at noon Eastern. And today I'm trying something different, just recording from my couch, but sharing really, really, really amazing value. This ways you'll get to see my house, but you'll also get to experience some shifts from a very casual place, because I think sometimes when we're doing master classes or trainings, it can feel like a classroom setting, right? Like it can feel like a lecture, but in reality, the point of this concept, this workshop, is to show you a new perspective, to show you things differently that you've never seen before or you've never thought about before. And today I wanted to talk about something similar, and something super powerful, something you've never thought before. I actually never thought this before until I invested a lot of money in my last coach, and what she taught and what she asked completely changed my mind. Like honestly, it blew my mind, and I have to share it with you. And at the end of the end of this video, I'll share the name of that coach as well, because of course they deserve credit. But I've heard this concept in different formats throughout my life, um, but it never really sunk in. So let's talk a little bit about fear. I know you don't like to talk about it. In fact, recently I onboarded some clients in the academy, and one of the big things was that, why do I have to think about my fears? Like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I've already overcome it. Let's move on. And it's like, hold on. Hold on. We can have so much bias to action sometimes that we completely ignore key things like triggers, fears, worries, anxiety, and then we try to push through it all. And when you push through things, you're really just, in the long run, sometimes ignoring them. Sometimes you're not listening to your intuition and to what it is that you really truly want and desire. When we think about fear, we are told to power through it. We're told to, don't be afraid, do it scared. There's a podcast and a book, and there's this whole mindset around do it scared, which I'm all for it, because everything I do, sometimes I do it scared. But it's flawed in some sense. It's same way just do it is amazing, and we should do things that we want to do, and action is important. But just doing things is not enough. Just doing it scared is not enough, because we really need to understand how to handle fear without running away from it, without ignoring it, without pushing hard and pushing through just for that fear to resurface every single time. Like how exhausting it is to do everything scared all the time. I really don't think you should do that. I understand that sometimes we need that push when we're really scared, and we need like somebody to say, don't worry about it. Fear is always going to be there. Just go for it. And I say that to my clients too. But I'm also interested in digging deep. What is happening? Why are we afraid? And today, that's exactly what we're talking about: how to overcome fear. It's very difficult to overcome fear. You'll never actually overcome it, because fear is programmed in your brain, it's programmed in your DNA. It's not going anywhere. It's a very biological response to new things, and it has been there for millions of years. So there's not much you can do to like sort of just get rid of it. It's not going anywhere. In fact, it's good to have fear. Otherwise, you'll be jumping from a building, standing in front of traffic. Like you'll be doing something very stupid if you didn't have fear. So fear is good. Fear is actually there to protect us from not dying. I mean, I think that's quite important. We shouldn't be callous, and we shouldn't be stupid. So fear is there for a reason. But sometimes we don't know how to work with it. We don't know how it's showing up. We don't want to listen to what it's saying, and then we don't know how to move forward with it. We keep waiting for this future where there'll be no fear. Okay, that future does not exist. No matter how confident you get, no matter how big your dreams get, no matter how big your life gets, no matter how much money is in your bank account, fear is going to be there. It is biologically programmed in you. It's not going anywhere. So how do we work with it, and how do we really use it to push us forward in the right direction, and how do we work with fear at every level of our success and our progress in our lives? Like, it can look very different for different people at different times of your life. As you grow matured and older and have a lot of things to show for, maybe the fear diminishes a little bit, but handling it would look a little bit different. So here's a very simple method that I would love for you to try out this week. And if you have time, like, get your journal and let's do this together. You can write it in your journal too, or you can put in comments, and I would love to see what comes up for you. The more we interact on this training, on these trainings, the better for all of us. The more you will learn, like the more benefit of this resource that's available to you. So the first thing you want to do with fear is you want to start identifying fear. What does it look like for you? So what is fear, right? For some people, fear is this tightening in the chest and this really, like, you have sweaty palms and you're like you can't breathe, or you're very anxious, or the bodily reactions of fear can be different for different people, but quite similar in general. So I want you to start feeling the fear. So what does it feel like to be afraid for you? You can do a quick exercise with me. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Now think about something that really scares you. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's an interview with your dream employer. Maybe it's talking to your friends, right? Or maybe it's something else. Either way, what is fear? Feel it on every level of your body. You feel it? Where do you feel it? That's the question. Do you feel it here? Do you feel it behind? Some people feel it on their shoulders. Some people feel it in their lower back, upper back. Some people feel it in their chest or their tummy. So what does fear look like? It's almost like, how will we fight a monster that we don't know what it looks like? Very hard to fight, right? So this is your opportunity to define fear. And a lot of times people run away from it and they don't even know what it looks like. So it becomes the monster in the closet that I don't even know if it's there. And how are you going to fight it? How are you going to overcome it when you don't even want to look at it? One of the best things that has happened to me after I started working with a coach is I don't have to go through these things alone. Like, they're there for me. They're holding my hand as I face my fears. So that's where mentors, gurus, coaches also come into your life. Is if you're struggling to face your fears alone, then you should definitely look for a coach. Then you should definitely look into the academy, because then I'll hold your hand as you face your fear, because it's hard to face it alone sometimes, especially the ones that you've like been piling up in your closet for a long time. So first you want to identify the fear, like feel the fear. Feel it. What does it feel like? And I know it's not very exciting because your body wants to avoid those uncomfortable feelings. But as I said, unless we identify and name the feeling, we're never going to be able to resolve it. All right. So once you have the feeling, you can write down, what does fear feel like? At the bottom, next question is, what triggered the fear? So what is the trigger? What caused you to start freaking out? Or what caused you to have this certain response? You can make bullet points about this. You can ponder over it. You can also do like the rubber band exercise I teach all my clients. You can pull the rubber band every time you feel afraid. Is it a conversation that got you scared? Was it a possibility, an opportunity, a message that came through? Was it an old memory? Was it a certain incident that happened that suddenly got you really afraid? What was it that started the feeling when you're in the feeling, right? So what are some of your triggers? Like, think about them and start writing them down. Again, if we don't know when fear arrives in our life, how will we handle it? We wouldn't know how to. Okay. And then I want you to write down one prompt that you're going to come back to every time you're afraid. So, for example, if you're applying for a job, that is your trigger. As you're applying for the job, your body starts to like close up. You feel the fear. So you sit with it. Don't change it. Identify that it has arrived. The fear has arrived. Okay. And the third thing you're going to do is you're going to say, hi, fear. What are you here to tell me? Literally, hi, fear. What are you here to tell me? And you're going to just do it on your notebook or on your um, computer or on your phone app or wherever you take notes. Doing it with paper is going to be the best. That's my suggestion. What are you here to tell me? So let's say you're applying for that job. Suddenly your heart starts to close. You're scared. You're like, I can't apply. I can't apply. You're like, oh, fear. Hello. As the fear is sinking in, you can close the job. You can walk away from it and you can start writing, hi, fear. What are you here to tell me? And then listen, because don't assume this fear has to go away. Don't fight it. Don't deny it. Just sit with it for like literally, you can put your alarm on for like 25 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes and be like, what are you here to tell me? And listen. The fear is going to tell you, look, I want to protect you from failure. Maybe fear is going to say, remember last time when you did it, you got hurt. Or the fear is saying, oh my God, you're not prepared at all. Or the fear is saying, you're so safe in your current role. Why do you want to switch? Or fear is saying, I'm very afraid of the unknown. Why are you going there? Whatever fear is saying, you got to listen. And I promise with practice, this is going to get better. You want to just start writing down what is fear trying to tell you. Once you see the answers, now you can make an informed decision. Okay, fear, you're making some good points here. I understand. I think we need more preparation. I think, yes, we have to be prepared for the unknown. But I also think now you can start answering each of those doubts and each of those fear based thoughts. You can start answering them. All right, I'm going to start preparing. You know what? I still want to give it a chance. Yes, the job is safe, so I'm going to use the safety and leverage it to be able to move forward. And you can have a positive spin on some of these things that fear is trying to tell you. And lastly, if fear is trying to tell you something deep, that's when you want to start getting a second opinion. Like literally, that's where the coaches come in, where somebody who doesn't know you and has a different perspective can show you, wait a minute, have you thought about what fear is trying to tell you here? I have a client recently, all her fear was trying to tell her was to not abandon her identity. When she has decided to uncover a new identity, right? Uncover a new identity. She's made a decision, but fear is still holding on to the old identity. And she's like, fear, I hear you, but here's the path I would like to take instead. So you stay here, my friend. Let me do something about it. So we're not trying to remove fear because, again, as I said, we can't. But we're trying to have a good relationship with it. We're trying to listen to what it's trying to tell us because, exactly like when it tries to stop you from getting in the middle of the street, what if it's actually trying to protect you from something dangerous? Like, what if? And you're not listening. And you're saying, I'm going to do it scared. That can backfire too. All right? So listening to fear is super important and then moving past it. And then listening and being like, okay, I got you, I hear you, I'm not gonna go to the extreme, I'm being mindful about it, I'm being strategic about it, I have a coach, I have all the stuff, like, I got you, fear, I got you all day long, nothing wrong is gonna happen, trust me. This is how you want to talk to fear. This is how you want to overcome fear on a daily basis. Because, as I said, you can never overcome it in terms of like by avoiding it. You can never overcome it by just being really, really successful. It's still going to be there. And you can definitely never overcome it unless you feel the fear. Feeling it doesn't mean you're giving into it. Feeling it means you're listening intently. And as you're listening intently, you're able to move forward with confidence because you're not avoiding anything, you're not running away from anything, you're being intentional and you're being mindful about the things that fear brought up, because fear can bring up some really good points, and then you can actually resolve those points really, really well. So I'll give you an example. I have this massive goal for my business that I want to achieve, and I kept feeling so much fear. And I did this exact exercise and I said, I realized what fear was trying to do. Fear was telling me, look, Prasha, you don't have the right set of tools to handle the size of the business you're going for. And that's what I'm trying to protect you from. Or, Prasha, you've not become that person yet who can run this multi six figure business. And then my question to fear was, okay, then what do you think we need? And it was so wonderful to have that conversation with myself, but in a very healthy and positive way, and uncover all the things that were coming up. And now strategically I can go after those points, which are good points, by the way. If I'm going to grow the business at the scale I want to grow, I need a team, I need systems, I need management skills, I need so many other stuff. And I need to start working on that, because that's all fear is telling me. Fear is saying you can do it, however you should think about it in a little bit more detail. So think of fear as your business partner, think of fear as your partner and as your protector, because that's exactly what it is. All right, so feel the fear, but make sure you're feeling it in a safe space, again supported by someone, a therapist, a coach, not a friend. I usually don't like using friends for this stuff, but maybe a community member, maybe somebody like a co-founder, but sit with them and really feel the fear in a safe space. Usually in the morning is the best time to do it, you have more willpower. And set a timer so that you don't start spiraling, so you don't get overwhelmed or anxious. It's just going to be difficult, like opening the closet door that has a monster in it. So make sure that you're supported, make sure you're in a healthy place, and make sure you're not dealing with a lot of other stuff while you're doing this. And then you sit with an open heart. One of the daily habits that I love to follow that help me with this kind of work is meditation. If you meditate, I can assure you some of these difficult things you'll be able to do with more ease. If you want to learn how to meditate, if you want me to be your coach and hold your hand as you face your fears and go to the next level of your brilliance and start believing in it truly and deeply, without fear stopping you, but by making fear your best friend, then please book an epic clarity call with me. We also have a free training going on right now. And if you want the link, all you have to do is comment below and I'll share the link with you so you can watch this 36-minute pre-recorded webinar, which is specially designed for you and to help you understand the things that are stopping you from going to that next level. Okay, so would love to have you in the academy. And the credit for some of these basic concepts that I shared today goes to Geeta Nadkarni of Impact with Influence. She coached me in June time frame, and she has taught me so much. And it's just a pleasure to forward some of the stuff that I've learned in my own way, in my own packaging, and in my own like interpretation of the principles she shared. And so I'm very excited to share this with you. And I hope this helps you overcome that big fear that you've been hiding away from. Thank you so much for listening. And I will see you again next Thursday at noon. Please tell your friends about this group and let's continue to grow this brilliant family. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.